In all the time except election time, you rely on us, your public servants, to take care of business in the city of Vienna, to make sure that the water runs, that the toilets flush, the drama is kept to a minimum, and we take care of the operation of the city. But now, in this brief election time, it's your duty to take a look, to spend a few minutes to understand. And I realize, people don't like yard signs in the front yard. I hate yard signs. But they're just a necessary evil, I suppose. Or even to interact with political candidates. And none of that is necessary as long as you pay attention. I'm going to be doing everything I can to provide information to the citizens of Vienna about the qualifications of the candidates that I am hoping will get elected to serve in this next and my last term in the city of Vienna. I'm very ambitious about what the things that I want to see accomplished. And I believe that it is going to take a team that works together and that we have energy from all parts of that team and we have effort from all parts of that team. You know the old 80-20 rule, right? You know what it is?
80% of the work is done by 20% of the people. Correct?
That's right. That's it. And what I'm hoping is that we get 100% of the council pulling in tandem, pulling in harness because that's the only way we're going to get all these things done. It is an ambitious and awesome agenda that we have coming up over the next 4 years, and it's going to take a dedicated, motivated, talented, experienced, and energetic group of people to take advantage of everything that we've got coming up, which we could spend the next 2 hours talking about, and I guess we can't. We got to go to work, right?
Right. Unfortunately, at some point, yeah. So you talk about, I'm just going to be the voice of dissent here, the devil's advocate. So you're talking about wanting to build a team that is all completely working in tandem, all pulling their weight in the same direction. And on one hand, yes, you could say that sounds great. On the other, don't you need that voice of dissent? I mean, you talk about how it's largely been a 5-2 council. Don't you need those two to keep the 5 in check? I mean, what happens if you build this team that's all just in unanimous agreement at all times? I mean, don't you think there's, a healthy case to be made for having some people to kind of check these ideas and push in other directions? I mean, how would you answer that?
Pretty directly. So first of all, I'll use my son-in-law, Seth Colvin, as an example. Seth is an ultra-conservative. He and I debate and disagree. We're already working together, restoring this warehouse. This is a 150,000 square foot warehouse that needs hundreds of thousands of dollars of restoration work. Seth is a mechanical engineer. I'm the financing source. We have those disputes. Randy Rapp and I have often disagreed about the way forward. I expect the same thing from Rod Smith. I know that Harry Dietzler is very much a man of his own mind. I believe Kerry Rapp, Tony Morrison is already in all of the participation that he's made in the public forum leading up to this election. All of these are spirited, individualistic people who have their own opinions. The difference is the ability to discuss, to reason, and to reach compromise when necessary. Many things just move forward because they make sense and are the right thing, and everybody will simply agree. But there will be many things where that is not the case, and I have no doubt that you will be electing 7 individual spirits and minds who will express their opinions. I'm not recommending this group because I think that they're just going to be a bunch of yes people. I have not been that to the mayor, although people want to disagree. I just largely agree with the logic of the mayor's decision and his leadership, which is informed. Let me take a minute. So when you talk about the mayor's qualifications and the institutional knowledge you mentioned. So, I first met the mayor when he was an usher at the Grand Central Mall Cinema when Star Wars came out. And I remember that you still had the velvet usher's uniform. And Randy looked completely ridiculous in it, but he wore it because that was the job. He went on to own service stations the Chevron, where the current Dollar General is, and the Exxon, where Walgreens is. And he ran those businesses successfully for years. He went on to public service. Next he went to DuPont, and I believe he was an instrument tech. And he learned the ins and outs of all of that industrialized machinations, I suppose, necessary to run an industrial plant like DuPont. So the skill set that he has is so applicable to the operations of our water and sewer, and he's the chairman of the board. Plus the relationships that he's formed throughout this valley in the 20 years that he's provided service to the city of Vienna are invaluable. I don't have the list in front of me, but he is well respected, well received, and a leader, not just in the city of Vienna, but in all of the communities in the Mid-Ohio Valley. You don't want to give up those connections, that experience, that leadership for some vague promise of change or difference that's being espoused by these candidates that are running against him. But yeah, I expect, quite frankly, a much more spirited council with this makeup and not the toxic environment of just having a couple of naysayers who just want to play gotcha politics, disagree with most things just to be disagreeable, in my opinion. That is my opinion. And so that's my answer to your question, Drew.